Hi, I'm Charlotte Smith, and this is 3cowmarketing.com, your place for ideas on how to run a sustainable farm business. I have been loving your emails, your comments, the survey questions you've been filling out and answering, and I'd like to answer a few of those questions on video from different people. So today I'm answering a question from Brian in Tennessee, and let me tell you what he asks. He says, how do I deal with milk that is not picked up? We have about 10% a week, which equals about 30 gallons. It's hard to get people to be consistent and pay for milk shares when they don't pick up their milk. It's not the same people every week either. It's very random, and I understand that things can happen and people just can't make it to the drop point on time every time. But it's frustrating when I have so much milk that I worked so hard to get ready and then no payment. Should I be more flexible and increase my price to cover for the loss, or do I hold people accountable and expect them to pay whether they get their milk or not? Hey Brian, I know exactly what you mean. And I'm sure all milk producers deal with the same issue on occasion. And like you said, it's never the same people each week, so it's not like you can just drop a particular person who's not following through. In all my years of selling raw milk, I've learned to look at it like this. I know that I have about 100 customers per week. Now, it's completely understandable and expected that out of these 100 customers, if they are normal people, they're going to have 2 to 3 times per year, which is not that often, where they will have some emergency that won't allow them to get their milk. I totally get that. And I can't resent them for it because that's totally normal, and I would probably do the same thing. It may be car trouble or a sick kid. Maybe it's a last-minute schedule change. They're called out of town. It really doesn't matter what it is, but I know it's going to happen. It's an expected part of life. And because of that last-minute nature of it, they're distracted and they don't think of calling you, their milk producer. And they don't mean any ill intention, but they have no way of knowing our side of things unless we educate them. Anyway, because I know this is going to happen, there are at least 3 things I do as preventative measures to make sure I don't have unsold or unpaid for milk that's going to go bad. One is I actually take on about 10 to 20% more milk customers than I actually have milk for. It takes a little bit of juggling, but I know my milk is going to be picked up and I'm going to be paid for all that hard work. Now, there are a couple times a year where this might backfire on me and everyone shows up that week, but my customers have to be understanding, just like I'm understanding when they can't come and pick up their milk. And because they are understanding, I just ask everyone to take a jar or 2 less on that pickup. And again, maybe it happens twice a year. And they know it rarely happens, and they're happy to work with it. The other thing I do is to charge enough money for my milk that it makes this added work and stress worth it, so I don't become resentful. If I see 10 gallons of milk not picked up, I look at it as a bonus milk for me to make butter, or I can give it to a deserving, needy family, and I don't feel bitter towards that particular customer, and I know you know what I'm talking about. One more precaution I take is this. When people initially start getting milk from me, the first appointment is an orientation or an education about our farm and my process, and I address this exact topic during this orientation. I tell each person that I produce and set aside their milk for them each week, and they're expected to pick it up each week unless they arrange with me first. And if they miss 2 weeks without notice, then I can no longer reserve milk for them. And I say that in a really nice way, such as, this is a process we use on our farm, it's what we've determined works for us, and I understand it may not be a process that works for you, and if not, I know there's another farm that will accommodate you in a way that works better for your lifestyle. This is just how we have to do it, and I know you totally get that. So it comes back to a few things we go really in depth in during our 3Cow marketing course, how to build trust with your customers so they are customers for life, and how then, once you've built that trust, you have the permission to educate them and set very clear boundaries on your processes without offending them. If you don't have that trust, you try to set boundaries, you're going to lose customers. And this info applies to you whether you're selling raw milk, which of course is super perishable, and also these skills apply to your vegetables, eggs, or meat sales, really any product you produce or make. Because if people agree to pick something up from you, then they don't. It costs you money, of course, but then all this added stress of figuring out how to get them to follow through. I've seen several times where people post on Facebook something like, I have a quarter beef that needs to go today. Someone backed out last minute. I have to sell it now. And understand that this is a $700 investment on the line, that this person is stressing over selling when she already thought she had it sold. So therefore, if you implement some of the things I've talked about in this video, you will avoid things like this happening in the future. So Brian, thank you so much for your question. Let me know when you implement these ideas, how they work for you. And for the rest of you, ask your marketing question in the comment section below this video so I can share this info with others. Because we are all in the same boat here, trying to market the things we are so passionate about so they get into the hands of those people who need them most. I started 3cowmarketing.com to help you do just that. So stay on your game. I'll talk with you in the comments below and see you next time.